Ladies and gentlemen and everyone in between and beyond, welcome to the 6th episode of Tampton Zoo. In today's episode we are building a monkey house, and let me just tell you that so far in the series this building is the biggest one, so unfortunately I know some of you guys can't really watch it when the footage of me building something is too fast. I know that some of you can't really watch it because there's just so much going on and you can really focus on anything, and unfortunately I tried to do something about it, but I couldn't really do much because I already cut out so many things that you'll see eventually in this video, that just some of the stuff that I'm building I'm not even showing, and still the whole episode is like 30 minutes long, so unfortunately I wasn't able to just cut so much footage, and this whole sped up process is quite fast, so I'm really sorry if that's too much for some of you, but I hope you won't mind it that much, and hopefully it won't be happening this much in future episodes. But unfortunately for this one it's gonna be an issue if that's something that you struggle with. But yeah, as I said, today we are building a monkey house. But before we are building the monkey house, we are actually starting with fountain with animal statues that are just in the middle of the path. I'm not sure how to explain that. I just had this idea. I saw it somewhere. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any references. I have no idea where I saw it. But I think it was some kind of movie that had just this amazing sculpture or something with all of these animals kind of like living in the wild, just all together, like reacting to each other, I guess. I don't know, but unfortunately we don't have like specific sculptures in Planet Zoo. Usually all of these animals are either just sitting or standing, and that's it. Some of them have like some dynamic poses, like the alligator, or I think it's Przewalski's horse, if that's the actual animal that I placed there. I'm not sure even what statues I used for this. I just used all of the ones that were available, and I'm not sure if all of them. I know that some of them are from like campaign mode, that you have to earn, like get the stars and you then get the statues, but I'm not sure which one are just available for everyone, which one you have to get by doing the specific campaigns, blah blah blah. I'm not sure about that, so I'm sorry, but I can't really help you if you don't get some of the statues. I'm not sure how exactly that works, but yeah, most of these animals are just sitting, so I kind of grouped them. So we have like birds together, there are monkeys together, there's capybara with flamingos, etc. So I kind of wanted to give them some kind of theme, but you know, like I can't do much. So of course they are just usually paired with something similar, so they are just usually paired with some species that is kind of similar to them, or they come from similar environment or something. But yeah, I didn't have that much of an idea, so I hope you guys like it. It was just like this weird idea that I just really liked, and I decided to just put it there, and you will see at the end in the cinematics that on its own the fountain was kind of weird. It's just odd placing just in the middle of the whole path, and it was just weird. But after I built the whole building, it did actually kind of fit the placement, and I was quite happy with it, honestly. So I hope you guys like it. Let me know in the comments what you think of it, because I'm not sure of it, but I kind of like it but kind of not, you know, it's a weird thing. So yeah, after that we are starting with the building, and let me tell you, it was quite a struggle to get it to look like it did in the end. There were so many versions, I changed things up so many times that I don't even know, like I'm watching right now this footage and I don't even know if that's how it looks in the end. Like I don't even recall building that, you know. My brain just rejected every memory of building this whole thing, so I think it's like some kind of trauma response to be honest, because when I looked at the footage after building the whole thing, it took me about 8 hours to build the whole thing, so you know, it's like several days for a couple of hours, of course. So yeah, as I said, this is the biggest build so far in the series. I really like how it turned out, so you know, at least that's a good thing. But yeah, it took a lot of work to get it to look how it looks at the end, but hopefully it looks good and you guys are really happy with it. So yeah, when it comes to the building itself, I added toilets on the base floor, or like a half floor, I don't even know how to call it, because the actual capuchin and other species habitats are on the ground floor, but the toilets are, I guess, on the first floor. Let's just call it, I guess, like that. And on the second floor there's like this administration site, I don't even know how to call it, but I just imagined, of course, like the authorities of the whole zoo have to work somewhere and be somewhere, so I guess they need a specific building to just have offices and everything. So I just designated some of the area of the second floor for these specific offices. Of course, I just put some quarantine and keepers huts and everything like that over there, so that they can use this space for something that is actually needed. But let's just imagine that there's some CEO of this whole zoo just residing there and just making some choices of anything. I don't know what they do exactly, but you know, just working there. And everyone else who is, I guess, taking charge of this whole place. And yeah, on the base floor, as you can see, there's just habitats. So as I said, the middle one that you will be able to also watch from the balcony is the Capuchin Monkeys habitat, and on the sides we have chimpanzees, we have gorillas, we have mandrills, and we have bonobos. And when it comes to the Capuchin Monkeys, they don't have an outside portion of the habitat. The whole thing is enclosed in the building. But when it comes to the mandrills, chimpanzees, gorillas and bonobos, they have an outside portion of the habitat and also the inside one, so that if it's raining or it's cold or whatever, they can just sit inside and, I guess, I don't know, sleep, whatever they want to do. So yeah, let me just quickly run through these habitats. So as you can see, the first one we are building is the Capuchin Monkeys habitat, and there's just not much thought put into this. I just wanted to just have these huge trees there so that they like rise to the top of the roof, and they fill the whole balcony. Unfortunately, Capuchin Monkeys don't use trees to walk on. I think in some kind of like previous version of the game, a lot of animals were able to climb on actual trees. They didn't have to have this like climbing frames and everything, and now for some reason they have to have all of these, you know, actual pieces that are designed for them to climb on, and they won't climb on an actual tree, which I'm not sure if I'm just remembering the game to be something that it wasn't. Like, I don't know, was that a thing? I think they were able to just climb on pretty much anything, and I don't know if they changed that, or maybe it's still a thing, but maybe just for few species, and Capuchin monkeys are not one of these species, so that they can only walk on actual climbing frames and pieces that are designed to do that. But I had to put climbing frames and all of these logs and everything on top of trees so that they can climb onto them. And I also added these platforms made out of course, these logs and frames, so that they can just sit on the second floor, I guess, so that just the people that are on the second floor can just see them pretty close, because otherwise they wouldn't really go there. And unfortunately I wasn't able to catch that in the cinematics, but let me tell you, maybe you will be able to see that when I'm building something and they're just running in the background. But unfortunately when it comes to the cinematics, they only stayed on the floor. But yeah, when I was building and just testing stuff, they were running all over the place and sitting on these frames, so it looks amazing that they are just using, like, I guess 2 stories of their whole habitat and just running around the place. It was really nice to watch that. So pretty much all of the 4 like side walls look the same. Of course, for gorillas there's less of really high climbing frames. It's pretty much low so that they can, you know, still climb, but of course gorillas don't really climb that much. And as you can see, when it comes to the outside portions of all 4 habitats, they are essentially like islands. So in theory I wanted to surround them with water, but because the path was too low, the game didn't allow me to place water there. I also tried to do something cool with barriers so that I can kind of like cheat and still place water there, but I couldn't really do anything. And what I ended up doing was placing these opaque glass pieces that I just used the color that resembles water, I guess, and I just placed it all around these islands where the water is supposed to be, and then I put all of the lilies and everything on that, so it gives even more of an impression that there's water there. Of course, I struggle a bit with terraforming and how to put all of the rocks so that these animals cannot go on this, let's say, water, but of course it's not water, so that they can actually stand on it. And that was a difficult task, especially for mandrills, because whatever I did, they still were managing to just somehow jump on there, even though when I checked the area that they can walk on, the water area wasn't even shown, it was completely gray. So I thought, well, of course they cannot go there, but in the end they still managed to go there. So I'm not really sure how exactly that works, if they're like kind of glitching or whatever and they just end up being there. So I'm sorry if that happens to you, because I haven't been able to change that, because the game tells me they cannot access this area, but in the end they still managed to go there, and I wasn't able to watch them do that, because whenever I would just like stay there and, you know, put the speed of the game on 3, which is the, you know, the fastest one, they wouldn't do that. I would just waste time trying to, you know, look for the hole or whatever they manage to jump on, so that they can go on this so cold water. But I guess you can just try to tilt the rocks even like further up, so that there's just bigger difference in the height, and maybe they won't be able to jump there. But to be honest, they are not able to jump there now, and they still manage to do that. So I don't really know how that works. Maybe it's some kind of a glitch, so that they just end up being there and you cannot really do much about it, because it's not real water. You can also just try to put actual water there, and then to put the path around it, like put the whole building, place the water, and then put the path. I guess that would be the easiest and least annoying thing to work with, I guess. But unfortunately for my design that I wanted to go with, I couldn't place water there, so I had to just go with these opaque glass pieces. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to tell you. There's not much inspiration that the actual habitat are based on, just the building itself. But as I said, unfortunately I cannot find the actual reference that I was trying to go for. So this whole thing is pretty much, as I said, just my vision of the thing that I think I saw. Maybe it was in my dream. Can you imagine if all of this time I'm trying to build something that I actually just saw in my dream, and I don't even remember that, and I think I actually saw that? Well, it wouldn't be actually that weird for my brain, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually a thing. So yeah, I hope you guys like it, and let me know what you think. Thank you for all the support. I'm not sure what happened with the previous episode, but somehow it got like hundreds of views in a couple of days. So someone had to post it somewhere and so many people saw that. So for everyone that actually enjoyed the episode and decided to stay, thank you, and I hope you won't regret that and you really like this episode and you will be staying for the rest of the series. And yeah, again, thank you for your support, and I hope I will see you in the next episode. Bye.